Hi everyone, this is Jim with YouTube user JimLiElevators, and since tomorrow is my birthday, which this video is recorded almost close before midnight, which is why I am talking low because people are asleep, and like I said, it's almost like 15, 20 something minutes before midnight. So with that being said, what a perfect way to celebrate the preparation of my upcoming birthday is a view of all my Otis elevator parts that we're going to take all at once. So, starting off, we have my Otis elevator bag that I just recently got over the summer. And as we move down here, this right here is a back box cover for an elevator fixture panel of some sort. And as we move to the right, starting off, is a braille plate right here for the COP. This is your newer Series 2 or Series 4 directional lantern on a lot of newer generation Otis elevators, which exactly came from these that I got last summer. And down here, you might have seen this for quite a very long time. This right here is my Otis elevator final limit switch. Basically what it does is if the elevator car reaches over the terminal floor, which is above or below, it'll hit this final limit switch, causing the whole entire elevator to shut down, which means it'll no longer work until somebody comes in and resets it. So I'll lay it down here. There's your alarm braille plate that actually came along with those that I got on the same day. Sorry, that was loud. I'll just toss it in there. There is your mushy Otis Series 2 push button, which obviously you don't hear a click because this is the older, I think this is like the older contact version, which this came out of San Antonio. An elevator guy from out of San Antonio didn't came along with these. So with that said, this right here is your fireman's hat plate, which came along with the other stuff, which in case you were wondering, those stuff actually came last summer from out of North Carolina. I'm sure you saw the video that I got to ride in the elevator shaft. Those are the same people who gave me the stuff, so big thank you. You got an Otis elevator coffee mat of some sort. And I'm sure you know Otis is my all-time favorite elevator company. So moving down here, this is a lot of variety of safety signs, which a lot of them are actually similar to the one I used to have a long time ago. See, look at all that. This is something new. See, these are all the Otis elevator safety stickers you see right here. My gosh, there's like so many of them. That's a lot I have to go through, but you can see all that. See, these are all the elevator safety signs right there, but we'll go through that later. Anyways, I'm not even going to go through all that, but I'm sure you already saw them all. But anyways, this right here, I actually got from Dallas. This right here is some type of relay. An Otis elevator, it's a newer relay type. I don't know much about this particular relay. It's some sort of monitor, I don't know. If any of you elevator technician who watch this video, if you can post in the comment below of what this type of relay does, I would appreciate it, because I wonder what this is. And these two are like your Otis elevator pen. And speaking of relay, we got some older relay stuff right here. This right here is a coil, which is part of the relay. And I think those are the bolts of some sort. See, this is the one that I really love the most. See, This is the relay, which I'm sure you saw the machine room tour that I just posted a few minutes ago. And I'm sure you saw what the action does. If you watch the elevator machine room of this particular relay, you'll see the actions of it. This big relay actually came from the elevator technician I met in San Antonio, along with these smaller ones actually came from out of Dallas. Well, I actually met Otis Elevator at Southern Methodist University. I'm sure you remember that machine room tour video I did with Otis Elevator that I uploaded a year or two ago. So those are the relays. I'm not sure what this coil does, but if you can post in the comments below, I love to learn about it, because this coil is off of an old Otis Elevator, along with what these pieces does. Anyways, this right here is your Otis newer clicky Series 2 button. See, you can hear the click, listen. You can definitely hear the click, and this one came from out of the Palace. No, not the Palace. The Paris Las Vegas, as they were modernizing the elevators by Schindler. This right here is your Otis Elevator buckle belt. Your old Otis Elevator key switch. And this right here is part of an Otis Elevator touch button piece, which, speaking of touch, this right here is your vintage old Otis Elevator touch sensitive tube. Basically what it does is it sends heat to your finger, and when you tap on that button, it'll send a signal to the fixture, lighting it up. I mean, I'm not very well with how I state this, but I'm sure you guys can understand, because these old elevators from back in the 60s were highly advanced for its time. So, like I said, you see the button sits right here, and the back mechanical parts of it is what operates it. You know, there's no like spring. It's not like you have to like push the button in. You just have to touch it, and that will trigger the light to brighten up. So that's basically what the touch tube does, and you can see it says Otis right there. Unfortunately, that part of the glass accidentally broke because I accidentally knocked it over, and the glass tube broke, so I had to cover it up with tape or paper of some sort, so that way I wouldn't stick my finger to the exposed circuitry. But this right here is your old Otis Elevator touch tube. Like I said, basically this thing sends heat to your finger. Like I said, when you tap it, even if you like barely even touch it, it'll still spring on. I've seen this a lot on a lot of Otis touch sensitive elevators. Anyways, moving on. This right here is your Otis Elevator stop switch, your old Otis stop switch. You see right here. You see a lot of these on older Otis elevators from the 50s, 60s, 70s, or sometimes in the 80s. Black button, door close button, which unfortunately lost the door open button I originally had, which came from Andrew, known as Diesel Doocy. But this is your vintage 60s Otis black button, door close button. This right here is a braille plate, which came from Otis Elevator. An Otis Elevator brake testing plaque. And this right here is your Otis Elevator nameplate that I believe it goes on top of the elevator car. This looks exactly something that I've seen on older Otis elevators, which this plate looks almost identical to an older Otis elevator, even though this is a newer generation. So, with that being said, I'm gonna make sure I didn't leave anything else. Oh, here is another key switch of some type, and it got stuck on the ground. Yeah, that little sharp thing has gotten stuck on the carpet, which obviously is, oh my gosh, it's really sharp, but thankfully I was still careful enough. But this right here is your key switch. And this is your Adams replacement Otis elevator. Your touch sensitive Adams replacement elevator fixture. You see, it looks almost exactly similar to this one, but except this one is the button you actually push in. This is not touch. You actually have to push in the button like this. You see, you have to push in the button like this. See, sometimes they replace the touch button with this to make it code compliant, which is something I've seen on certain occasions. I've seen in a lot of buildings. All right, now, as we move up, I'm sure you recognize this thing. This is a selector, some type of selector from an Otis Gen 2 elevator. It's actually an encoder part. You know, I think this is actually an encoder from out of an Otis elevator. So yeah, if you guys know, like I said, if you guys know more of it, please comment below, because I am not very well on any detail on what this thing does. So I would appreciate if you leave a comment below. I love to know more. All right, now, since I've already covered all this stuff, we will finally move to the top parts that's sitting on top of my Otis elevator suitcase. See, this is my Otis elevator suitcase, and I've been using that ever since because I love it. That right there is another one of your vintage-like Otis elevator company signs, which is something similar to the one seen right there. I wonder what this is. I've seen this a lot on a lot of the elevator door jams, which sit on top. This is a type of this is some type of code that is placed on the very top of the elevator door jamb. All right, moving on. This right here is your vintage Otis black button elevator call station from the 50s, which that thing is almost falling. Otis black button fixture. This right here is your 1920s manual Otis elevator call station. I think this came out of the Tower Life building, I think. I'm not sure, though. But anyways, this is something I really like. Oh, it's very light, too. It's not as heavy. This is your Otis, another one of your Otis elevator call station from the 1920s. My friend Carolyn gave this to me. Out of all these elevator buttons I have, this one is the most lightest. And last but not least is your big Otis elevator globe. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. That pretty much covers everything. I'm sorry that I was not so well talking during this video. All right, so we only have 30 seconds left until midnight. This is almost like how I do on New Year's Eve. But this time, since my birthday is tomorrow, we only got a final second left. Once the clock hits 12, it is time for a bell ring. So, all right, here we go. All right, guys. Finally rang in my birthday with this GAL elevator bell right here, which this bell can be pretty much used on any elevator. GAL, Adams, whatever. Just to name a few. But anyways, sorry that this video was done late and that I feel exhausted because, like I said, I don't want to be disruptive, but I just really wanted to do this video. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me showing off all my Otis elevator pieces. So with that being said, I have a very special video that I'm going to be putting on for my actual birthday. It's a place that we used to visit from back in the day. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but yes, it's got an Otis Lexan elevator, and I got the parts from there as well. So that's going to be the next upload. So anyways, I look forward on your birthday wishes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And with all that being said, that will be all for this video. Thanks and have a great day. Bye everyone.